twice for me.
Had to do a little repeat. It's time to give God some praise. It's another Monday, one-ish. And it's your girls, a dream do done from process to progress. We are here yet again, thanking God for seeing another Monday. I tell you, woo, I'm at my field with some transitions that have happened this past week, which keeps everything all in perspective, that every day is a blessing. So while we have lots to talk about and catch up on and celebrate from Faithpreneur Weekend, my heart goes out to multiple families, including mine, that have gone through some bereavement. So let's not take an ounce of time for granted. Every day is a gift. Let's unwrap it and use it wisely and carefully, because we just don't know. From moment to moment, day to day, it's there for the grace of God, go all of we. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host to say hello. Hey, Greg. He said shared rock stars. Hey, miss you, my brother. Hope all is well. But I'm going to turn it over to the Pulpit chick, Serena Brown Travis, to say hello. And then we'll be down to the how-to coach, Tamara Hartley. And, of course, my name is Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant, Chief Faithpreneur.
All right. Well, Stacie and Tamara, how are you, ladies? So glad to see you both, as well as to be here with our online audience. I had a wonderful weekend. There are absolutely no complaints. Of course, my heart is heavy for my sister, and we're going to certainly get you through this process. And, you know, when we talked earlier today, to know that your heart was heavy, and I'm in celebratory mode, because as you see, I have a new background. I am so excited to have this box. I mean, I hugged it. It was like sacred when it came, okay? Like, my children were like, oh, let's see what's in it. I was like, no one touch it. This is like very important. Everybody back away. I mean, I took the tape off. I had some ice to help, cool. Yeah, I wanted to make sure. Nothing was ripped. And so it is, again, Stacie, so happy for you and to celebrate with you for the great things you have done last weekend and how God showed up at your conference. So anyways, it's just great to be here and to be alive.
Absolutely. Look, I share your sentiments on opening that box. I was over here like with careful hands, like, I was trying to take one of those, how you do your videos and it moves a little bit.
Yes.
I sent Stacie a photo of it, but it was like I wanted to have the movement, like my box. But I couldn't how to do it, and of course, all the kids were gone because those are my technology gurus when I can't figure things out. But this week has really been a good week for me. My son started football. And as you know, sports are a big thing right now, whether we're going to do it, whether we're not. His school is moving forward with a shorter season. So his first game was this weekend. So that was interesting, especially since I had to watch it via the internet. So it was streamed live. Wow. So things are going to be different, but they're trying to give the kids an opportunity to play, to kind of open up, but still be safe. So that was different. But other than that, I had a really great weekend. Just kind of relaxed a little bit, got some stuff done, but I relaxed. And, that's rare for me.
Yes. Well, I am proud to hear that you are excited that you got some rest, and just looking at Serena with the box in the background, it's just making my heart so happy that you all enjoyed your Faithpreneur action boxes. Doing Dream Do Done live from Faithpreneur Weekend again was an absolute treat, and just looking at what God did, I'm still in awe. Someone asked me last week, I said, I'm in my Holy Ghost after party fog. Like I'm just still processing what God did. We took a break. Thank God I did, because I needed it. Didn't know what I was coming into this week. But just the respite was like, whoo, to be in nature, just to look up at the sky. I was like, oh, the sky is cleaner here than New York.
Where were you?
Well, I was in a resort in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So it was beautiful, and just being by water is always healing for me.
Yeah.
And I did my exercises every day. Like I did my 5 miles, I did water aerobics. It was like, let's get it in. So I'm feeling rejuvenated. I'm feeling grateful and just excited about what's next, because we're gearing up for the fourth quarter. So, my Faithpreneurs know that's our new year, right?
Yes.
August is the month of new beginnings, and that's the new year for Faithpreneurs, to get everything that they need lined up so they can take action. It's about not just dreaming, it's doing, so you get it done.
Get it done.
Fourth quarter, we hit the ground running. So we have some things. Hey, Serena. We have some things that will help you do that, like our Dream Do Done journal, which everyone was so excited about when we announced it at Faithpreneur Weekend. So I can't wait for you all to get that in your hands. I mean, we did a lot of work on that. We didn't rush that to market. We wanted to make sure it was what you will need to hold you accountable. This is your accountability broadcast every Monday, 1-ish. So you stop sitting down, watching other people's social media posts, going on TikTok, Click Clock, and whatever else is out there now.
That's right. That's right. Stop watching us laugh every week.
Do something. Let us inspire you to actually get something done. And this journal is going to be that accountability to help you wherever you are, because it's not about giving you judgment on what you've done. It's about celebrating the progress along the way and actually doing it.
And one of the things I really love about this journal is that there are no dates on there. A lot of times we get stuck and tied to dates. So I didn't do this when I was supposed to do. The truth of the matter is this is your journal. This is your accountability journal. The dates are up to you. The dates are to keep you moving and moving forward. You know, if you put something in and then the next day it's not much moving, but the next day it is, those dates are up to you. And that's why I really like the fluidity of this journal, because it doesn't hold you to date. It keeps you moving forward. I'm not saying don't do any dates, but the dates just kind of give you the flexibility to say, hey, I'm making moves. I'm doing this. I'm going to this day. I'm doing this. And so that's one of the things I really like about it. It's not tied to a date. So next year, you don't have to throw it in the drawer like it doesn't work for me. No, what works for you today, it'll work for you tomorrow and forevermore.
Exactly. And it also builds, right? It shows the process.
Yes.
So it builds, no matter how long you might be in the first phase of what you're doing for 2 months or 2 years. Absolutely. Who's sitting in the judgment seat? Let those without sin now cast the first stone.
I tell people that all the time, like, whose timetable are you on? Like, it's your timetable. So I think the journal is built around you and your timetable, definitely.
Well, I wish you all had those same sentiments as related to my book going live, because then that means I still have time.
Yeah. You see,
we said accountability.
I know. Well, see, and that's the part for me, for people who, who can stay stuck for a while. That's the part for the journal that appealed to me. Obviously, I'm a clear participant in it, but more importantly, the due dates did not become intimidating for me, because then once you miss a due date, then all of a sudden it's, woe is me. I knew I couldn't do it. I can't get anything done. I'm not good enough. And so that's the part for me that I really appreciate about how we all put our brains together to make this happen, is that you may fall, but it's still there for you to pick it back up and to start again and to keep on moving. And to be honest, between my two sisters, they've made sure I am a product of this journal.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And I think it's important that we talk transparently about how we feel during any given process. So this one makes you uncomfortable because we're on your case, but we're doing it out of love. But we all bounce off. Y'all get on my case for what I need to do. We get on Tamara's case for what she needs to do. That's what accountability is. It's those uncomfortable moments that you can be vulnerable in and still be productive.
Yeah, so we get on your case, but we still playing cards Friday night, right?
I know.
We got to argue on Monday, but Friday we could.
I just say, I know a Friday night call from Tamara. We're gonna go from where's my stuff at? Wait a minute, where my stuff at? And then 5 minutes later, okay, girl, so what we doing this weekend?
I love it. I was talking trash on my little respite about spades. I had someone who thought he was the king of spades. Clearly, I'm the queen, and the queen did not summon him to the table. Because I can't nobody talk trash like we play the spades. Especially the fact that he knows how to play Bitwiz too. See, Bitwiz players know how to play spades. It's totally off topic. But if you know how to play Bitwiz, then I can trust you on the spades game. You're not that shabby, because you have to be able to really think about what's being played. You're not gonna renege and do something stupid, maybe cut you out. But
get kicked out the tournament altogether.
Girl. But as we celebrate progress, we are excited because we also announced at Faithpreneur Weekend, drum roll please, that our dear sister has her book, Positively Positive words only.
Yes.
I love this site. And look at the family picture. Look at the Browns. Look at the Browns. But here we are.
Here we are. Listen,
Yes.
I owe you both a great deal of gratitude. And again, and to show you how valuable Faithpreneur Weekend was for both of us, for both Tamara and I. This book was birthed on the plane ride home because Tamara and I had to finish the argument that we were having at Faithpreneur Weekend. So this book is as a result of an argument. And I'll tell you this, if you get some as of an argument with a friend, then that's a good friend, a good coach, so that you can. I mean, look, we can argue all you want, but Tamara can sit back and be like, "But look who got a book, though,"
And so this was Faithpreneur 2019, and so in that 365 days, this is the product, and it was a journey, but look at that. From one conference to the next. One conference, it was an idea was just being birthed. The next conference, it was being unveiled. That is tremendous progress. Tremendous progress.
And it speaks volumes, Stacie, of you and the content that you had at your conference. And it also speaks to the friendship and connection that Tamara and I had. And clearly, I mean, like, if I dig in on the argument, she digs in on the argument. I mean, it is what it is.
My jaw's hurt. I'm so happy right now. Like, have you ever been that happy for somebody else where your jaw's hurt?
Your jaw's hurt. Exactly.
Oh. I don't care. She won a little bit. Right.
This is like, I'm all cheekbones right now. I'm looking for the applause. So I can play it. And just play the applause.
So Stacie has just turned, this COVID-19 has turned Stacie into a super producer, okay? She is producing these live shows. Look, she got effects.
Right.
Love it.
Listen, the commercial, for me, the commercial is enough. But no, you're right. She's got drum rolls and everything.
And wait, if y'all only thought Dream Do Done was her only production, y'all are wrong. She has a full lineup. We just happen to be Monday at 1-ish. Throughout the week, she has several other productions that she is producing. But that says something too. She'll tell you right off, she was never really a techie person. So that wouldn't seem something that would be in her wheelhouse. But look, she had to learn how to do it, get some stuff done, like the conference, the technology used for the conference. The Dream Do Done broadcast has stepped up its technology because of Stacie. You know what I mean? So you learn on the fly and you do what you got to do. And now that's another skill set. And she's adding it to other people's broadcasts. That's something that everyone can do. We talk about our side hustles turn into a main hustle. There you go. I love it.
It gives me so much joy because who knew? And you all know what this year has been and how COVID started for me. And you know what was going on. And I don't even understand. I was like, how did I get a full-blown lineup? Like, we a TV network. Like, what? I got shows
pretty much.
I'm like, what's going on? I'm even on vacation, like, hold on. I was like, all right, wait. I got to get myself together because I got another show.
I love it. I love it.
And it's also released some of the vanity, right? Because the hair could be a powder puff, the eyebrows ain't done all the way. Because it's about getting it done, right? For Faithpreneur Weekend, I had the whole glam squad in effect. Because that was like a next level. And my cousin insisted on coming down. She had to do the hair situation and all that. I'm like, left up to me, honey. It would have been all of that. She was like, I know, and that's why I came down. So shout out to Larissa Lawson.
Listen, you were fabulous. You were fabulous, but you're always fabulous. But I mean, I will say you were strikingly gorgeous. As soon as we met each other, I was like, wow. We just had I felt like we just had on our little t-shirts, like, wow, Stacie.
I know we were behind the scenes trying to figure out what shirt to wear. Like, we just wanted to match and look good.
It was such a joy just seeing you all in the reaction. I'm like, well, then what did I look like? Y'all act like I was a whole new person. I had family coming on. They were like, girl. I was like, okay. All right, before I
what it is. It's the COVID-19. People haven't dressed up, wore heels, put on a full thing of makeup because I got to put a mask on top of it. So it was just a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, that was something that we're used to, seeing Stacie dolled up at Faithpreneur. So that's all that was, girl. That's all it was.
And shout out your glam squad again. Who was it?
So Larissa Lawson, hair by Larissa Ingrid on Instagram, and you can find Larissa Lawson on Facebook. She does custom wigs. So in COVID, that was her pivot because she's a hairstylist. And unfortunately, salons were closed. She was trying to figure out what next. So she started doing custom masks as well as doing custom wigs. So she has a celebrity line that she's doing. So she asked her big cousin if I would be so inclined to wear a wig. If she thought she was just going to do the wig. No, I said, no, I'm investing. Because you family, you want the homie hookup. Like, you can give me a discount, but I'm going to invest. So I invested in my wig. I'm like, I'm supporting your business. Just because you're my family member, I don't expect you to do it for free, which is the wrong way. We can't be cash flow positive people if we give it away for free. I did it for too many years. I got an attitude about it. Serena keep laughing. I'm like, cash flow positive. Here's the invoice and where my money.
Love it.
So she did the hair. Celebrity makeup artist Tiffany Garlic did the face, and Tiffany's expecting. I thought she was gonna go in the label before Faithpreneur was all like, girl, you gonna make it to Saturday. But she did an amazing job. And it was so many of the pieces that came together. I'm still in awe. I'm like, okay, God, you did that because I didn't know how it was gonna work. You have a vision and you're doing the work, but God puts every piece in place. And I'll just say this, and then we're going back to positive words only. When you're in covenant relationship, so this is a little different for those of you who might not rock on the Jesus train, but for those of you who do, you understand what covenant means. And when you're in covenant relationship with individuals that show up, they show up in excellence. They show up with a desire to do something that's bigger than them because they understand that's God's work, that you're God's hands and feet here on the planet. And everybody that came together, from my faculty members, my sisters here, Virtual 10X, Swift Studio, DJ Z, Granted Group Productions, Netstruck Media, DJ J-Vi, everybody came together in a spirit of excellence and in the spirit of serving our faithpreneur. So it wasn't about me. It wasn't about Stacie. It was about what are we doing here to create the training and development and experience for this ecosystem of faithpreneurs. And that to me is like one of my main celebratory takeaways, is that God continues to show me who to be in covenant with and who gets to go to the balcony. So my rant at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Well, here's the thing with Stacie. I know you want to talk about the book, and I get it. But prior to us coming on, you said that God did a slew of things for you. Can you share with us one of the things that was a nothing but God moment for your Faithpreneur weekend?
Absolutely. So the first one I'm thinking about, because I'm looking at your box, is the fact that I kept saying, Lord, I don't know how these boxes are getting mailed out because we're still negotiating with sponsors. We're still figuring out, how this is going to go. People are donating. And in my spirit, I kept hearing UPS. We have a local UPS store here in Queens. And I'm like, I should talk to UPS because if I'm going to give somebody my money, I need to give it to a Black-owned business. Because that's my desire and preference, to keep recycling dollars in our community. And post office, I don't know. Things a little shaky right now. Some things get there, might be a little delayed. UPS. I kept saying it, but I never had the time with everything going on to actually make the trip. And then finally, Old Man Jenkins was on my case to go and pick up his certificate from his 5-hour class. Y'all pray for me. He going for his license tomorrow. Jesus. This boy is like a relentless. So anyway, I'm like, okay, we're going to do that. Then I'm going to drive by the UPS store. So as we're driving down, he's actually driving because, these kids, when they start driving, every opportunity to jump behind the wheel, they jump. So we're driving down, and as we pull up in front of our local UPS store, out comes the owner, who I totally forgot is a friend of mine. So I'm like, wait a minute, what were you thinking? I totally forgot it was he and his family that owned the store. I said, look at God, and he was just leaving. And we pulled up just as he was walking out for God to say, Dodo, this is why I told you.
Right.
So I'm like, look at God. I said, you will never believe. I was just coming down here just to have a conversation. Like, I need to talk to UPS store, totally forgetting it's you and your family. So he started laughing. He was like, Stacie, give me the box. So he goes in and does the measurements. And I said, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. So anyway, they ended up becoming a partner to give us a discount on shipping out all these. That was major.
That is major.
Shipping could have blown my budget. But that's just one. And I've told that God will bring things to your remembrance. And you're like, wait a minute. I you should have seen the look on my face. He's looking at me like, why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, I totally forgot. So shout out to the UPS store of Laurelton, New York, Brandon Phillips and the Phillips family for being our partners, and will continue to be our partners because clearly we're planning for Faithpreneur Weekend 2021, and it will be a hybrid event. So we're going to do online because this Rona is still going to be Ronin in 2021. So we want to be mindful in our planning that we plan for a hybrid, maybe just like 100 people in a location, and then virtually folks will be able to register. But that's one example. Then there was, let's see, where did I begin?
But I just want to say, Stacie, too, that's an example of, and I'm glad, Serena, that you even asked that question, because a lot of times you'll hear her say something like, oh, well, I was blessed because of this, but we don't actually hear the story sometimes. And I think people need to hear the story so that they can recognize the true blessings in their life, because that same scenario happened to someone else, and they just said, oh, it was just such a coincidence that he came out, that I saw him, and we started talking. It was not a coincidence. When you step out and you don't really know what's in front of you and things just start falling into place, that's an example of falling into place, but it's also an example of being obedient and going where you didn't think you should go, or going to take your son somewhere and you run into some. It's all divine. It's not just coincidence. And so hearing someone say this let you see some of the miracles that have happened in your life. When we think of miracle or we think of divine, we think of something real huge, like it has to be always big, but it's those little things, those connecting the dots that make it happen for you. And that's when I started seeing that for myself. Then I started seeing more of the miracles in my life, because before I was like, where are you? You left me. I didn't understand it. I need to see, boom, shakalaka. I need to see something big, But the truth is how things fall together and people come into place. That's our miracles every single day. That's the grace we will see every single day, but all the times we don't recognize it. So I think that's a good example, because that could have happened to someone else and they said, oh, that was just a coincidence. I ran into him. Or that was all me. I ran into him.
He looked at me. I looked at him.
It was divine intervention, and you have to be open to that divine intervention. You're asking and praying all day long, and you're not recognizing that these things are being answered and being done and taken care of, and the right people are put into place to make it happen for you.
Right, and we've all heard the quote before that says a coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. And so, Stacie, we are again super excited for you, and we're so grateful that the coincidence worked on your behalf. So go ahead, share another. I mean, just let us relish right now what you got going on.
Well, I'll share another one. Hey, Ladrine, Ladrine knocked it out the park too. One of our Faithpreneur faculty members. So here's another one. I've been building sponsor relationships over these 3 years. So I want to shout out Delta Airlines once again for continuing the relationship and growing it, and Dr. Carmetria Burton. I found out this year from one of the managers in her office that we're the only faith-based conference that they have supported in recent time. And I was like, what? She was like, that's grounded in faith. So I was like, that was just testimony number one. Then last year I started talking with Wells Fargo because I wanted a piece of the conference to focus on home ownership as a wealth strategy. So when I spoke to Serena Battles, who was the VP at that time, we just started talking about it. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't until the month before, a couple of weeks, I don't even think it was a full month, that Wells Fargo said yes. And they were like, this sounds great. And they started doing, I was like, look at the miracle of God. Because I didn't know. I mean, at that point in the planning, I could have just thrown my hands up in the air and stopped having the conversations, right? Stop setting up the follow-up emails, because we're so close to the date that, just save it till 2021. But I kept persistently engaging in the conversation, giving them the information that they desired, and they green-lighted it and said yes. So that was another huge blessing that we added Wells Fargo to the lineup of Delta Airlines, to Miss Jessie's, who came in again. I wasn't even expecting Miss Jessie's to do all of what they did, because she's been supportive since year one. So I wasn't stressing. She was like, no, we got you. I love what you're doing. And because of Miss Jessie's and Delta, that Faithpreneur action box exists. Mm-hmm. And we were able to get them produced. So that was one. Oh my gosh. Let me go down the list. There's so many. We'll still be this.
But wait, and don't sleep on the fact that, you know, when you even mentioned Delta Airlines, in this kind of economy, what we're dealing with the pandemic, who's getting hit the most? Who's getting hit the hardest? Our travel industry. So even in the midst of all of that, they were still able to sponsor your conference and to not say, oh, well, we can't do it this year because airlines are truly being hit right now, but they still were able to do it. That in itself is a tremendous blessing because, you know, when things get tight and things get cut off, it's the little us that get cut off, you know, the sponsorship. So I think that was even tremendous. So, I mean, that's a blessing too, not to be overlooked.
And you're right. Ladrine said, great point, Tamara. It is so true because they didn't have to. And, you know, I was semi-prepared like, well, you know, even though they had green-lighted it before COVID hit, I was like, are they still going to move forward? Like but God will put the people in places where he needs them to be. There's nowhere where God isn't, right? So there's no industry that he's not. There's nothing that you can be a singer, R&B, you can be playing soccer down the field, you could be in the wherever you want to call on God's name, he is there. And I thank God for Dr. Kamitra Burton, who we honored as our corporate sponsor of the year, because not just because she's a sponsor, but because she opens up doors and opportunity and supply diversity so that others can come and participate in this American dream, right? We're talking about being cash flow positive, and you can't become cash flow positive unless you look at the things that you need to structure properly or fix so that you can get the results you desire. That's what Dream Do Done is about. Accountability. We want to see you accountable to your greatness. So that brings us right back to positive words only. Because in order to get there, you have to be able to create for yourself that sort of mantra, the language. Language is important. And that's one of the things I love about how Serena crafted the words in this book, coming from a person who understands how words can kill, right? You don't always need a knife or a gun to kill somebody. You can kill them with your tongue, and their spirit can be crushed by the things that you say. And positive words can build you up, can remind you that they are words that can empower rather than words that can defeat. So positive words only, this is a movement. This is not just something that we're casually, you know, taking care of. Oh, did we lose?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll come back. It's not just words that we're casually saying. Brilliant advertising mode for Delta. Oh, yes, that is. I'm gonna have to tell her that, Ladrine. But positive words only allows you to self-correct. Because there are things that we say and we don't realize how damaging it is because it sits in our psyche, right? It sits and it festers and it grows. Even when it comes to a healthy lifestyle, there'll be things that we will say, because I've been guilty of it, so I'm not going to act like I haven't. When I wanted to eat the wrong things, like, oh, you're going to die from something anyway. You might as well be fat.
Right.
That's not positive words.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Listen, you know, and Stacie, again, I appreciate you even allowing this moment to briefly talk about positive words only. And you're right. I mean, again, we think about how life is created and in the spirit of the tongue. Life is, I mean, it's life and death, as we know, is in the power of the tongue. And so, again, that's where the premise of this book came from. You know, ideally, being the daughter of the legendary motivational speaker, one would think that I had it all together. But the fact of the matter is, my low self-esteem, my gutter moments, all of those things was a result of people talking crazy and speaking negatively over my life. So again, I think that I appreciate you. I also want to acknowledge you. There's something that you always do, Stacie, and you do it unceasingly, and that is pray. Ever since I've known you, you've unapologetically worn your faith on your sleeve. And the fact that we had a wonderful weekend with your conference and you empowered and helped so many other people is, again, the testament of the whole praying without ceasing. And I think that is why, for me, I wanted to just hear nothing about your victory that you celebrated a couple weeks ago for this. So again, I am super duper proud of you. I know that Tamara had Duty was calling. You know, we know that she has a position here in Ohio, a high position too. So I know that Duty was calling for her, so she definitely had to scoot off the line. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, I appreciate you. I know at some point we'll really dive into Positive Words Only, and maybe I'll even read a few excerpts from the book if that's okay. And then again, I want to make sure that we discuss our journal that has life changed for my career. It got me unstuck. And so again, I'm appreciative to Tamara and Stacie for getting me to a point where I'm even doing this. Like I would never do this. I don't think
I
would never do this.
Yeah. But look at deliverance, Lord. Dream.
Look at deliverance. Look at God.
Won't he will. Won't he will. As Ladrine just said, positive words is a mindset change. And that's so true, Ladrine. And that's what we hope you gain. Not only some absolute comedy relief when you come on Dream Do Done, but content and information that's going to push you further. Like we get encouraged when we get the messages in our inboxes and our email that something that we share sparked a fire inside of you to stop dreaming and start doing so that we can celebrate you getting it done. And we're here to support you on the journey. DreamDoDone.com is our website. We understand that so many people were flooding to get the journals, so we just need to reset the link so that you all can get your journals at DreamDoDone.com and just join us for the journey. We're not here by ourselves. This is a group process. We're all working towards the thing that God put us on this planet to do and to be accountable for it. So Positive Words is going to help you keep your mind right. The Dream Do Done journal is going to help you stay in action. And the show every week is something that we ask you to share your comments and topics that you want us to focus on so that we can support you on your journey, because we're in this together. You can't quit us. You're in the tribe now, so you just got to rock out with Dream Do Done.
All right. I love you, Stacie, and love you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful week.
Love you all.